Every day we get to start over again. Spring is like that, with a new season and all kinds of possibilities before us as we start to do our spring cleanup. Join me for some insights in today's vlog, which includes looking at the beds that we plant in and why I think that raised beds are so much better than planting straight into the ground. Hello, my friends, and welcome to this week's vlog, where we are going to start to get into some spring cleanup. And the one thing that I want to start this off with is how to not let overwhelm get to you, especially when you have a garden the size of mine. I have probably, I don't even want to count how many beds, probably 20 beds that I have to start cleaning through. And so it's taking them one by one, step by step. Now, you will get all kinds of advice from people throughout YouTube about how to, you shouldn't clean up too early because of the important creatures in the garden, and I agree to some of that, but I also know I just saw my first grasshopper and it is only March 22nd, so I have a little bit of a concern about letting them nurture too much, if you know what I mean, because we tend to have a grasshopper problem. We're here in Zone 6A, just outside of Boulder, Colorado, and grasshoppers are not my friend. They have, one of the things you'll see is that Abby, get out, and then I have my dogs in the bed. Abigail, come on, out of the bed, let's go. We'll talk about putting guards up around in certain areas in the garden too, for little critters like these guys here. This is Luna, and that's Abby. But we put up these metal fences around the perimeter of our main garden. We've slowly been doing it over the last couple of years because we have fields on either side of the garden, and we just get a lot of grasshoppers, and Japanese beetles are not my friend, and we'll be talking about them more as the season goes along. But for today, I don't like to let things nest too long. And again, you're going to get a lot of advice here, there, the other, here on YouTube and other places. But what I want to say is, you do you. After gardening for nearly 40 years, things that people say, absolutely don't do it, I do it because I just find it works for my garden. There's a big discussion, let's say, amongst gardeners right now about till versus no till. In some of my beds, I have to till because I get so many tree roots. We have a lot of trees on the perimeters of our garden too, that if I don't dig it through and till it all the way through, I'm just going to get huge tree roots that turn into trees in my garden. So there's that piece of it. But it's taking it step by step, one bed at a time. And you'll find here today, I'm going to start, this is an older wooden bed. We're probably going to replace this year because it's seen better days. And it's one of the reasons why I have switched to either concrete or metal. And we'll talk more about that here as we go today. But here on my wooden bed, which I call my Mary bed because Mary graces this bed, which I love. And we're going to plant some helleborus today. I just was at the garden center. I couldn't resist. So I am going to plant that here today and just do the spring cleanup, which really consists of, a few tools here that I will use. This is my best friend. I like this trowel, I think that's what you call it. But this does such a better job with leaves, I find. And then, of course, my snippers. We can't be anywhere without our snippers. And my gloves. I will also be using compost. And I need to get a load of compost for the size of my garden. I don't like to do my compost in bags because it's plastic and that's not great. But for right now, until we get our first load, we've got to go pick it up at the local landscape center. I am going to just use these bags for this bed right now because it's a beautiful day here and I want to take advantage of it. It looks like our 10-day forecast, there was snow. Snow's now gone. And so I want to get in here and start cleaning up. I see some things are coming up in the bed. And so let me get to it. And I will clean up this bed, plant the helleborus, and then we'll talk more. How's that sound? Let's do it. And then I will also, don't let me forget, I'm going to give you an update on the inside grow house, how the tomatoes are doing, the peppers are doing, the dahlias are coming up. Everybody's doing really good. So I'm excited to share that with you too. So this guy has been having a stare out with Luna while I've been working on this bed, and it's pretty much done. One of the reasons that I have found that I like compost as much as I do, and I always get organic compost, whether it's in a bag or if I'm buying it in bulk, which I buy it in bulk because it's much more cost effective. One of the things that I saw at the garden center is that it's gone up $1 a bag. Everything just keeps going up, doesn't it? So it is quite a cost savings. And when we get that, probably next week, I will show you us going to get it and how that all turns out. But I've cleaned up this bed quite a bit. The delphiniums are coming in over there. The helleborus got planted. Got some daylilies coming up. This right here, I forget what this is called. It's very invasive, and we're going to visit with this one here. Got to remember what it was, and I don't remember. But I have some columbines coming up, perennials, of course, and my mind just went blank as to what that is called. I'm saying helleborus, so it's heuchera helleborus. It's all runs together, but that it got pretty snarled in the snow, as they will this time of year. But this bed is done. I'm gonna work on this bed next, but not today because I've got some other things I've got to go do. But just to let you know again on the whole thing with the bed situation, I've got this area of the garden which used to have hops in it. I've shared that before. But this is kind of the area that I throw any seeds that I might not know what to do with. I believe I'm going to do my squash in this metal bed that I got from Epic Gardening. And so, because we've got the trellises, so our squashes will go in here. Lavender will hopefully come back this year. We'll see what happens. But again, it's if you can just see, I just do it bed by bed. It keeps me from growing crazy and getting overwhelmed, my body aching too much. And then as I look at the rest of the garden, these are my concrete beds that I've had probably 10 years. I swear by these beds. They are great with water retention. They are easy to sit on and garden, and I just highly recommend them above anything else that I've had. They were a pretty good cost factor going in, and I can't even remember how much they cost, and that was 10 years ago, so it's going to be a lot more today. But they have just been fantastic, and I know a few people that have gone and done them themselves in their gardens. We actually tented it, and I have a couple new beds coming in that would go in this area that I actually got in a terracotta color. So I'm excited to have those because we're getting the new fountain put in over here and all of that. But why raised beds? I find it easier on the body, A. B, it's just time consuming to this whole garden. And let me walk up here to the beginning of the garden and I'll show you. When we first moved into this house, my kids were 3 and 1. So I had little babies running around, and I had planted, this is where the original owner had her garden, and I planted it straight into the ground. We had no beds at all, and what ended up happening is again, it just about killed me, just weeding it and all of that. It really cuts down on the weeds, putting rocks in between. You will get, rocks in between, even if you put down barriers, it happens. So I just find this to be prettier for my own taste, and just, you know, I have a lot of cleanup to do, so it'll look much better. I'll put a picture up of what it looks like when it is in full bloom and happening. But we've got a pond over there, and then our sunflowers are in that wooden bed there. And as I've shared before too, then we have the whiskey barrels in another metal bed there that my peppers will go in. And the beds here is where my tomatoes will go this year. And yeah, I just like raised beds for the aesthetics. I like raised beds for, I can just come sit on the side of the bed. That's what I love about these concrete beds. And again, till versus no till. I have a lot of perennials with that throughout the garden. We're going to be doing our lettuce bed here next week. I'm going to also be doing strawberries back in that bed. We pulled out all of our old strawberries. And the other task I have in this bed is the mint. I had the mint in this pot. Get my shadow out of the way there. I had the mint in this pot for years and it was fine. Last year it broke free and started spreading throughout. So this whole bed, in the weeks ahead, I've got to really clean it out. We've got chives coming up, but I'm going to take the mint from this pot and put it into this pot that I'll put a drainage hole in the bottom, but a small one. It won't break down like the terracotta did. And so then the mint will go in there, because I love having mint in the garden. I just think it's super wonderful because you can use it for so many things. So that's what I wanted to share with you out in the garden here. And from here, I think I will take you in the house and let's go see what's going on in the grow room indoors. Before we head into the grow room, I thought I would show you the green, how green this looks after just looking at the garden as it is right now. But this was from last summer, and this is what encourages me, and I know I can expect this summer with the beds and how green and beautiful and lush everything is. It's that hope for tomorrow, right? So with that, let's go ahead and see what's happening down in the grow room inside and what little jewels are in there for this summer. Okay, well, a couple of days have actually come and gone, and I have made it down here to the I've been in the grow room a lot over the last couple of days. I just made it here to be able to record this. A lot been going on in our family. I'll share that with you here in a minute, but first, updates on the grow room, and getting ready to do some more potting here when I finish this recording. But I wanted to show you what's happening here we've got the peppers up here, which are doing great. The tomatoes, very leggy. We've got a lot of legginess going on that I need to deal with today. And so I'm going to start to pot a variety of things. And we've got some Mexican sunflowers down here that had a bit of a rough go, but I think they're going to be fine. And our artichokes have made their way over to this, once the plants start getting a little bit taller like that, I have this area to move them in. And then this, I got this for Christmas from my husband from Gardener Supply. And what I want to say, if you're feeling overwhelmed about, getting the supplies to start seeds, do it slow but sure. I started my very first season with this one right here from Root Farm, and it has served me so well that and I continue to use that. And then we added lights to this bookshelf. That gave us more grow room, and we've added lights as we go. Here's this one light that will now be on this. This has lights above it. So let me just show you. There's lights in there. And then what you can do with these is also move the shelves. So if I want to take this top shelf off, I can just unplug it on the side here, the light, and then I have it for taller. So as I get closer and closer to the time when these will be moved out to the garden, I have room for bigger plants. So, and then again, like the lights, I've added them slowly but surely as we went along to see which ones I liked. This one is a really good one because it's flexible and I can move the lights around a lot. This one, same thing, it's got more of a solid light, and there's just all kinds of things that you can do as you add on, and you don't have to do it all at once. All right, so I just wanted to end this video this week. I'm getting ready to repot these artichokes so that they can join their big brother and sister over there. I wanted to just say, when it comes to gardening, the importance of enjoying it, like that whole thing of being in the moment, because we can, and I know there's been many a time that I've gotten a little crazed, wanting to, get things done. And I talked about the beds, my raised beds, and they do help me to keep it broken down. But there are times it can be overwhelming. We had a family medical emergency this week. My husband had some health issues. Beautiful turnout at the end, and I write the victory letter. I'll put a link here for the victory letter if that's something that you have interest in, just to get a piece of inspiration every Monday morning to start your week. And I wrote about how this week we were in the hospital on Monday. When I normally send it out, I didn't get it out till Tuesday, which we were still in the hospital, but it's just remembering to not add stress to your life. This whole process of plants and having a hobby around gardening, it's one of the 6 things I wrote about in the victory letter when I was doing some research on things that help with stress. One of them is having a hobby that you love, and that I lose myself in gardening. That's why I enjoy gardening. So I encourage you, whether you've been doing it for a long time, maybe you're burnt out, maybe there's, you're just not enjoying it the way you used to. Maybe it's time to make sure that you're adding some new elements into your gardening mix. Like I'm doing dahlias this year for the first time, and just all those little things to enjoy the process, to enjoy the hobby. And that's over all these years when I've been gardening. Am I a perfect gardener? Hell no. I mean, like if I really got into what's all on that shelf, there's actually, here, let me get it for you and I will show you. Like I really screwed up on, where are they? Well, the Mexican sunflowers, but you can't really see it on this one, but there are some, hold on, because I really want to show you this, because I think it's important. Here they are up here. These were, my banana peppers. So when we went to the hospital and all that happened, I forgot to water the plants, and some did just fine, but these banana peppers, as you can see, did not do fine. Now they've lost their initial leaves, so they're toast. This one I think is going to make it through, but I lost the rest of my banana peppers. Now I could say to myself, wow, Sherry, you're a shitty gardener. Like what's the matter with you? But we're human. We're going to make mistakes. And so I got 1 out of 6 that's still hanging on. So that's what you got to hold on to, is the positive side of it. And more important than that, my husband's going to be okay, because he's one of the most important things in my life. We've been married. We're going to be married 38 years come June. And we've been together for 40, and he's just really important to me. So if I lost a few banana peppers, so be it. And I think that's, it's that whole thing of failure. I've talked about that before in this vlog, that we're going to fail. And if you can't take failure, you're never going to really get the successes that you want in your life. Because, I talked to so many people that said, oh yeah, I can't grow a thing. And I'm like, really, what'd you do? Well, I got a plant and it died. Well, I can't even tell you how many things I have had that have died. Like if I go right now up into my sunroom in the front of the house, I just lost a plant the other day. No rhyme or reason. It just was dead. And so it's a bummer. And it's, again, you want to learn from what you go through so that you don't necessarily repeat it again. Like in this seeding thing, I'm continuing to learn. I'm a new babe in the woods, only 4 years at this. And so I continue to learn all the time. Like, why are my plants so leggy? I got to figure that out. And I've learned to take the heat pad off, get it closer to the light, blah, 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 all those things that we'll continue to talk about here. But the biggest thing is, and that's again for me, raised beds were the step up for me from which is really the focus of this video. We've kind of got on to some other things, but that's really, for me, raised beds make it easier for me. It makes it doable for me. And that's, if you want to be a gardener, if you want to enjoy your time being a gardener and enjoying this hobby of gardening that can bring you food, flowers, all the beautiful things that it can bring you, then really be willing to make mistakes. And yesterday, with all that was going on with us, I canceled my appointments that I was supposed to have, clients, etc. And I just wanted to be with my plants. That's all I want. I didn't want a video. I didn't want to do any of this because I just needed to be with my plants, because these little babies are just so good for the soul. That's what I want to say. All right. And with that, my friends, I will say goodbye until next week. Remember, if you have any interest in the Victory Garden Club, would love to have you on board with us. Again, just a group of women. Sorry, guys, it's just kind of a woman thing that we get together and just share ups and downs. There's an online portal where you can get more information and all that. So the link is here. Please join us if you so desire. And again, you do you. I can't stress that anymore. When it comes to anything, you do you. You can get all the advice in the world, but if you don't do you, you're not enjoying it as much, right? So my friends, onward we grow, and let's go plant some plants. All right. See you next week. Thanks for growing with us, and we will see you next time. And in the meantime, be sure to like, comment, let us know what really resonated for you in this video, and then of course be sure to subscribe at no cost to you and be updated when we have new videos up to play.